Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope this thing is on. Anyway, today I wanted to talk and share the story of how I recorded my first song, Pull You Close. Normally I try and have like a little outline or something to refer to so I don't ramble on forever, but one, I feel like this story there's a lot to say, and two, I don't know. So we're just going with it. So it was November 2021. It was actually Thanksgiving night. And after the Thanksgiving dinner, I went to my family's piano and I just started jamming. And I will say during this jam session though, I was definitely in my feels, a little emo. Aww. This girl that I had been seeing had recently moved to London. Aww. So I was missing her. Aww. And after a while, I discovered this chord progression that I really like. And it was C major 7th and A minor. I think I was specifically jamming on C major 7th because it's one of my favorite chords. And there's this Billie Eilish song called, what was it called? I forget. But there was a Billie Eilish song that I really liked that, at least based on the internet, said one of the chords was C major 7th. Anyway, I was really digging this progression. So then I set up my phone, which I normally do. Like if I find something I like, I'll set up my phone and just start recording. And I just started jamming to these chords. And then after a while, I started just scatting, like humming and kind of mumbling and singing a little bit. I usually do this when I'm writing or playing music, just improvising,
Come back down, when you go.
Anyway, as I was recording, I started singing this, and it's kind of crazy because like the verse and the chorus melody isn't that different from what I recorded on this super basic demo track on my iPhone, which is wild.
I wanna know, tell no pray from me, and waiting yesterday, I wanna take your hand and pull you close. Since I saw you yesterday, you sent up on a taste.
So anyway, after I recorded that, I flew back to New York, and from what I remember, pretty much wrote most of the lyrics on that flight and in the days before. It was definitely one of the quicker songs that I had written. And so like within a few days, pretty much the blueprint of it was done. Oh, hell yeah. Today's video brought to you by Claire and Fob's Organic Garden. Nature's candy. So fast forward a few months and I started this recording project, and initially I was actually going to plan on recording it myself. I had some basic recording equipment in my apartment and I was going to teach myself to record and mix and master. But then one night I woke up and I had this idea. My good friend Ryan, who was the drummer in the high school band that I was in, is now a full-time music producer in Los Angeles. So I had the idea of flying out to LA to record this project, like legit. I ended up calling him up, pitching him the idea, and he was in.
Ow! Ryan's in. But it looks like we're going to LA to record this EP, baby! Woo!
I was super stoked. I was gonna fly out to LA solo and record this project with him there. So from there, I recorded like a little more polished demo version of the song. And I had stand-up bass in it. And a few weeks later, again, I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this idea. What if I got my good friend Corentin, who was the bass player in the high school band I was in, who's now a professional jazz musician. What if I got him to come out to LA to record bass? So I called him up and pitched him the idea, and he was in. Here I was, so stoked. Me and Corentin were about to fly out to LA to record with Ryan in his studio. And at this point, those were the only instruments I had were drums, bass, and piano. And then from there, a few months later, as I was working on the song during my commute home from work, I had the idea of the outro, which is now probably my favorite part of the song. I was on the ferry coming home and these lyrics just kind of came to my head, and when I got home I started messing around with some synthesizers and I found this really cool, kind of eerie, mysterious, but like also kind of uplifting at the same time sound. It kind of reminded me of like some Tyler the Creator stuff. I was super fired up on it and ended up writing that outro, like I think that night even. Now I pretty much had the full song ready to go. We were set to fly out to LA in like a week or two. And during this time, I had been sending demos of the track to my friend Luca, who was the guitarist in the high school band, who was an absolute shredder. And he was like, yo, I feel like I hear some guitar on this. So I told him, yo, for sure, feel free to send me any of your ideas. And the next week he sent me over a Logic session with some ideas that he had, and immediately upon listening, I knew this had to be on the track. So I called him up and I was like, dude, this sounds so good. Are you down to fly out to LA next week to record? And he was in. Unfortunately, the other member of the band, Mitch, couldn't be there, but before you knew it, the boys were back in town, high school band was back together, and we all flew out to Los Angeles the next week to record. And it was a dream. Like, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Like, we hadn't all been together playing music in close to a decade, and here we were in LA all together playing music again. And it was just so special. The first few days we were there, we recorded guitar and bass. And after a few days, Corentin and Luca flew back home, and I ended up spending the rest of the week in LA recording vocals with Ryan.
Vocals. We're tracking vocals.
And during this time, I was also working my full-time job and working East Coast hours. So I was working from like 6 a.m. to 2 or 3 p.m. and then recording music until like midnight, 1 a.m.
Night one of vocals, check.
So it was a lot. It was super draining, but it was just such a dream come true. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world. So anyway, spent the rest of the week recording with Ryan, and yeah, it was so epic. We also ended up recording like a live session, which I'm super stoked to share. And so anyway, I left LA that week.
Closed up shop at the studio. Time in LA has come to an end.
And over the last few years, I've been working with Ryan remotely.
Now the mixing and mastering process begins.
To finish the song, the mix and the master, and tweaks and edits and production and all that kind of stuff.
April 24th, 2023, session with Ryan right now.
And now here we are. It's out in the world, and it's so wild. But I'm so grateful for these incredibly talented musicians that I'm so lucky to call my friends, and so honored that they were and have been so enthusiastic and passionate and supportive to be a part of this project, and the energy and the talent and the vibes that they brought in LA that were just so special. And I think you can hear it in the song. So big shout out to Ryan, Luca, Corentin, truly, for helping me bring this idea into life. I'm so grateful. Couldn't have done it without you. It was just so wild and awesome for all of us to be together again playing music. That alone was amazing. And then to have all of us getting to play this music that I've written over the years was just like unreal.
I think those last two were good.
Let alone with these like incredible musicians. Like Corentin is the most unreal musician I know, literally professional musician. Ryan has worked with everyone from Shabuzi to Selena Gomez, just an absolute genius producer, mixer, master, engineer, unreal. And Luca just absolutely shredding on guitars, bringing some insane ideas that I couldn't ever have imagined. So all of us getting to play together again was just so special. So that's a little bit about how I made Pull You Close, and I'm so stoked to have it out there and hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you at the Grammys. Peace.
I wanna